Welcome back to Chris's Beer Reviews. It's time for another beer review, and in this one we're doing a side-by-side of two big ABV Guinness beers. One's from Nigeria, one's from Ireland. Let's have a look at them both. So we've got the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. This comes in at a big old 7.5% ABV, and this is brewed in Nigeria. So Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, brewed in Nigeria. 330ml bottle, as I've said, 7.5% ABV, and we are going to put it up against the Guinness Special Export coming in at 8% ABV, I believe, in a 330ml bottle. One of these is actually bigger than the other. Yeah, the Nigerian one is a 325ml. That's a 330ml, so not much in it. So, but yeah, well, I've already forgotten what the ABVs were on which one. Right, so the Guinness Special Export, brewed in Ireland, 8% ABV. The Nigerian Foreign Extra, 7.5% ABV. We're going to put these two up against each other. I had this before, and I like it. I can't recall if I've had that before. I probably have, but I cannot recall it, which is a good thing. Can't recall it, it's like it's going to be drinking it for the first time, but that I have had before. That always kind of has a bit of a sweetness to it that I remember. We're going to put them up against each other. Do I think there's going to be much difference between the two? I'm not expecting a huge amount of difference between these, so we shall see. We're going to put them in some vocation glasses. One's got gold lettering, one has got the black lettering. So the gold we're going to put on the one with the biggest golden yellowy type top, being the Nigerian one. Well, let's get on with it. They've both got a very similar caps on the top. They both say Guinness. They've both got the harp on them. Both have got a yellow band around the top of them as well, so they're identical. Let's get pouring, let's get sniffing and tasting. Well, let's see if there's a difference between these two bad boys. Out the bottle into the glass, this certainly sounds quite carbonated. Just going to have to quickly ease off on that pour. Tanned head. Big head. Let's get the rest in. It says that will all go in there. There we go, that's in. So there's the Nigerian brewed, or brewed in Nigeria, Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. Let's have a little look at the Guinness Special Export Stout. This was the 8% one, wasn't it? It was, wasn't it? Was it? It was. Let's have a look at this one. Doesn't sound as busy on the carbonation, but still an aggressive pour. Still getting a big head. This has got a tighter head. That is really foamy, the head on the Nigerian one. This one is nowhere near as bubbly and as foamy looking. There's lots of tiny little bubbles. Not that you really care, it's all about the taste. But an aggressive pour. Monstrosity of a head. Let's have a look at the Nigerian one while that one's calming down a bit. There it is, pretty much a jet black, but I don't know if you can see how big the bubbles are in there. Really tight bubble bar, foamy like looking head on that one. Right, let's get the rest of this in. I want them both all in. And the head on this one certainly seems to want to hang on a bit longer. I haven't got it all in yet. It's always got to be all in, isn't it? But yeah, there you go. Bubbles that aren't as big. Got a bit of a ice cream effect on the top. Stick a 99 in there. We'll be well away. But they're both tanned heads. While we're waiting, let's have a little sniff of the brewed in Nigeria Foreign Export Stout. Head's gone down on that. Oh, it's a lovely aroma, that is. Definitely pick up on chocolate and a coffee vibe. Nice roasted malts in there. A lovely little sweetness, a little boozy sweetness of fruits. It smells lovely, that does. I really do like the aroma on that. Are we going to get the rest of this in? We are. Whether I'm going to get much on the aroma. Completely different head. You know, that one really seems to want to hang on. But jet black. Let's see what we can get on that through this ice cream looking head. Yeah, there is a subtle difference between the two of those. Yeah, there really is. They do smell quite different, actually. It's a bit more of a maltiness to this. Rather than a roasty malt, more of a kind of sweet malts. Not really giving off much on in the terms of chocolate or coffee or roastiness. It's definitely got a... Oh, I don't know how to describe that. Almost like cereal-like maltness to it. Definitely different. Definitely different. That's interesting, because I really thought these are going to be very similar on taste, but they are two completely different aromas. I hope these are in shot. I can't remember how I've set the camera up, but I hope they are. So on my left hand side, which is going to be your right, we've got the brewed in Nigeria. On my right, which is going to be on your left, we've got the special export. Let's get on with tasting. Cheers. Nigerian brewed first. Let's go for that. I do like that. It's got a boozy sweetness to it, like it's got that Christmassy cake booze sweetness vibe to it, which I love. I love a stout that delivers boozy Christmas cake, and that I find the Nigerian one does that with a bit more sweetness, a bit more sweeter type raisin on it. Nice little boozy kick to it. Lovely sweetness, sweet raisins, sultanas. It's a lovely roast hit to it. A nice bitterness, really enjoyable bitterness on that. Pick up on elements of chocolate and coffee, but it's predominantly all sweet and not sickly sweet either. It's all lovely dark fruit soaked in booze sweetness. Adding a lovely bitterness. It's quite drying as well. My mouth does feel like it's drying out. It's a great Guinness, that is. Costco are selling this, and I've forgotten the price, but it's not expensive. It's such a good stout, and it, you know, look, so easy to drink as well. Really good. So Guinness Special Export. Let's have a go on that one. Cheers. Such a different aroma. That's so weird. Is it really though? They're brewed halfway around the world from each other, so it's probably not that weird. Oh, that's really good as well. If you're a Guinness fan and you predominantly drink draft Guinness, you know, the normal Guinness, and you fancy something with a little bit of an ABV kick to it, don't ignore these Guinnesses. Just don't ignore them. Or even Guinness Original, don't ignore that. These are absolutely fantastic. Fantastic beers. They really are. It's a different taste as well compared to the Nigerian one. It's got a better body. This has definitely got a better body to it. Feels a lot like it's got a big mouthfeel to it. It's not as bitter. Considering the sweetness in that one, it does have quite a bitterness to it. This doesn't have a huge bitterness to it, but it doesn't have a huge sweetness to it. It actually feels more drinkable than the brewed in Nigeria. I love the flavours in that, but this one is more dangerous. This one just feels a lot more drinkable. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. It's got a better body to it. It's got definitely got a good mouthfeel to it. A little bit of roast going on. You get the dark fruits. I'm actually having to work harder on this one to pick it out than that one. But the drinking experience is really good, if that makes sense. Even though I'm struggling to pick out the flavours, it's quite balanced. Everything kind of just works. With that, the Nigerian one, the flavours switch from one to the other quite quickly. With this, it feels a lot more balanced. It feels a lot smoother. Smoother. I don't think I've ever said that before. Across the palate. Gentle bits of chocolate. Not a great deal of coffee going on with that. It's just a hell of a lot smoother. Everything's more subtle than that one, but this has got a better mouthfeel. Love the flavours in there. Love that fruit sweetness. I'm looking down too much, aren't I? I need to look at you. But the mouthfeel of the body in that, and the drinkability of that, and the flavours are good, but they're a lot more balanced. That's really difficult. It's difficult to split these. Look, you shouldn't be sessioning either of these. 7.5%, 8%, they're not session beers. You shouldn't be sessioning them. That's not a good move. To session anything in that high ABV, it is not a good move. If you find yourself sessioning high ABV beers, you might need to have a little look at yourself. Difficult. They are both really, really good, and I do really like this. But you know what? That one's winning it. That one is absolutely winning it. That would be too much, but it's not a session beer, so it can't be a winner because you can't session these. You just can't. They're too higher ABV. You should not be sessioning them. That's a great Christmas beer. That is going to be cracking with a proper traditional Christmas pudding. That would be amazing to drink that with it. That's just a lovely, great. Had a lovely day. I've had a few beers. I'm not drunk. I'm going to just sit back. I've come in after being out with my friends. I'm not drunk, but I'm just going to finish the night off with something nice. Nice, hate that word. Something good to drink, good flavour, chill out on my own beer, just to see the night off. That's the one. That's the one to do it with. They're both good beers in their own rights. Really difficult to split them. Really difficult. I wonder. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Might save that one for another video. They're both epic. I'm really struggling to split them. If I had to, I'm going to, because I always have to do that. I'm going that one. I think that's great. That's great. They're both great. But that has just got a certain drinkability about it. Just gives it the edge over that one, and I thought I absolutely loved that one. I mean, these are the same size glasses. I've drunk more of that one. Oh, it's relevant. I'm just waffling. You get the picture. I'm all done. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye now.